reality of crime.
All right, before I get started, let's see if you can hear me. Chat's flying, but I'm late because my computer decided to restart. Can you guys hear me or do I sound terrible? What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and can you guys hear me? I see everybody saying hello to everybody. So, what's up, Sharon Belko? Thank you so much for the $25. I think it was Venmo, loud and clear, good. As long as it's clear, that's what matters. All right, Sadie's mama, if you can hear me, then everybody can hear me. What's up? Today, we're going to get into the final part 3 of Tiffanie Lucas in orange. Let me tell you, Lucas looks great in orange. That's going to be the color that she wears from now on every time we see her. Now, Tiffanie Lucas took her 2 little boys' lives execution style with we know what it is, a GUN. I don't know if YouTube doesn't like that. What's up, Thunder Maiden, Foxy Amazon, Augustina Hermosillo, my love M. All of you, thank you for being here. Krista, Lori, Chris, Mama Sage, Tammy, how you doing? Hello from California. All right, so this Tiffanie chick looks great in orange. We're going to watch the final body cam today. We're going to watch a video that recaps everything that's going on. Friday, the 22nd of this week, sentencing is going to happen for the last phase of her pleading guilty. I'm glad you guys can hear me loud and clear. She pled guilty to executing her 2 boys, Maurice and Jaden, 6 and 9 years old. They found the gun in the house eventually, and she said that Facebook made her do it, and then she recanted. So now we're going to watch the last part of the body cam where she falls out of her chair, is talking crazy to a detective, hearing voices, and then she's going to be in orange, transported to the next facility. What's up, Miss Odin? How you doing? Yeah, this is very sad, but it's what I've been waiting for all week. I'm so glad she pled guilty too, but it did save her from the death penalty. Right, so let's get into this first part so that I don't get a phone call from Miss Reese, my beautiful little angel, my beautiful little time-consuming, my love, my little angel. Reese doesn't call me and say, "Hey, mom, the children are feral today. Come pick me up." And I just wanted to say, if you can have a little bit of sympathy for me today. I went to the dentist and I went to go get one single crown, and I came out 2 crowns later. What happened? Okay, there it is. I came out 2 crowns later, y'all. 2 crowns in a row, 2 teeth. I guess one of my old fillings, yeah, ouch, it hurt like heck. I didn't even know if I was going to make it on here today, y'all. 2 crowns for the queen of today. If you feel sympathy for me, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't. Gift those memberships. Get your memberships for the members only. Foxy Amazon already donated a Guilty of Crime membership for 420. So happy early 420. Yes, 2 freaking crowns in one day. My mouth was throbbing. It felt like someone punched me in the face. But I took 2 Tylenol and I laid down for a little while, and I'm here talking to you guys. So have some sympathy for me today. I'm still happy, but and the dog's yelling. Yes, I got 2 crowns in a row, 2 teeth in a row. They took out an old filling and said, "Let's just do a crown on both of them. It's gonna hurt a little bit later." And I said, "Oh, sure. Well, it'll hurt later. Do it." Oh God, y'all. Synth Server, thank you so much. I love your little icon to the left for the $20 super sticker. Thank you. Thank you, Bree. I saw that 9 root canals in one day, but I wasn't expecting any of that. I was expecting a simple crown, make my teeth pretty, good to go, and I ended up with 2. So yeah, cry me a river, right? Well, I'm better now. I just got a pump full of Tylenol, but I didn't get a root canal. No root canal, no root canal. I was reading a comment, Marilyn, no root canals. I only got a crown because it was one of my front teeth over here, and I got a crown because you can't. Yeah, I did. I just took Tylenol. Hashtag I took my meds. So yeah, I had a. It felt like someone punched me in the face. I took 2 Tylenol, laid down, woke up, and now I'm here. Yeah, they freaking drilled the crap out of me, and then they said, "Hey, we're gonna give you 2 crowns today. Oh, and by the way, it's $1,020. You owe us the rest when you come pick up your teeth." So thank you. Yes, dentists are expensive, and I just switched dentists, by the way. I went to a different dentist because my other dentist cost 3 times that amount. That being said, welcome to the show. Tiffanie Lucas in orange pleads guilty to executing her 2 boys, Maurice and Jaden, 6 and 9. Say a prayer for them before we get into them. I hate dental work, just so you know. It's lots of money. I'm always giving my paycheck up, but I do have a pretty smile. Love you guys. Yeah, dentists are brutal. But thank you for the donation, Synth, and the Guilty of Crime membership. Let's get into today's show and find out what happened since last time and everything you need to know about this case before she gets sentenced on Friday. I love my dentist, man. Those are my yeah. There you go. That's my smile. Guilty of crime. All right, let's get into it today. These little angels, double child murder.
I got shopping. Go peanut. Go peanut. Go peanut. Yay.
We're going to get into everything we know in the Tiffanie Lucas story with Crime Fix's Anjanette Levy. This is the case
Everything
of the
you
mom
need to know.
accused of shooting to death her 2 young boys. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, let's get back to a story that we've been following for a little bit. We want to do kind of a deeper dive on it. We haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks. So this is that horrific story out of Kentucky where a 32-year-old mother is accused of shooting to death her own children. Tiffanie.
By the way, this miserable excuse for a human is no longer allegedly accused of anything. She will be sentenced on Friday. She has pled guilty. And you know, I always got to spoil it. Those little beautiful little angels, she took their life. First, not guilty. She didn't know what happened. Somebody made her do it on social media, and then she changed her mind to guilty. So she's changed her mind 3 different times. She's done. Judges signed it. We're going to finish the body cam. She has a definite punchable face. She also thinks she's a person of color when in fact Tiffanie Lucas is white. Nothing wrong with that, but don't try to be something you're not. And I feel like she's very evil. Thunder Maiden, a piece of trash, says Susan Higgins. I agree. And something that she's not. I'm not going to blame it on any kind of mental problems. I believe she was tweaking out of her mind, and she just was hearing voices and she didn't want her children anymore, right? The person that gave her a pew pew was not charged. That's her problem. She's a big grown ass woman. She went and got a gun and executed her 2 boys. So no, it's not their fault. Bless the babies. They're safe now, but their lives were gone way too soon. And we haven't actually seen the Oh, I want to watch something else today with you. The stepmother. The stepmother pleads for the children. The dad. Everyone asks, "Where's the dad? Where's the dad?" That's where the dad. One dad's alive. One dad passed away. One of them is advocating to this day. Let's go.
And Catherine Lucas has been charged with the murders of her two young boys, 6-year-old Maurice, 9-year-old Jaden. They were found by authorities in the home, shot in the head. And, when we first covered this case, I actually interviewed Bullitt County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Colonel Alex Payne. And again, this is when it first happened. We didn't know all the details. He couldn't reveal so much. And he said something to me that, even though I know what happened now, it was just so chilling when I first heard it. Let's just play that real quick.
I can tell you this:
Yes,
the boys were
please.
shot in an area that would not be survivable for anybody. However, they were alive, to the best of our knowledge, when they were transported by EMS to the hospital,
Crazy.
and passed away while at the hospital.
Yeah,
Crazy.
pretty horrifying there. A Bullitt County Sheriff's Detective, Richard Beal, testified during a court appearance that two neighbors, a husband and a wife, called 911 after hearing gunshots. And Beal explained that after reviewing nearby Ring doorbell footage, you can hear 4 gunshots. They were fired within 30 seconds. And then about 5 minutes after the last shot, Lucas leaves the home and yells for help, even tells a neighbor allegedly that, quote, her kids were dying. That neighbor apparently ran inside, attempted to help the boys. When police arrived, Lucas allegedly was lying in her neighbor's driveway. She was arrested. She was interviewed. And she told the police that the shooting was seemingly...
You're going to get back to that. Seemingly what? We've heard this already. Look at that nasty face she has on her. She has that face the whole time. She has that face when she actually pleads guilty. We've watched part 1, part 2. We're on part 3. On part 1, I showed you where she pled guilty. That's what she looks like. So look forward to that nasty face in orange the rest of the time that we ever see her. Those little angels took her life, and the mom says that she always looks like that. Now, she looked like that when she pled guilty. She looked like that when she pled guilty, like somebody else did it. Evil, nasty woman, Chumba, you're right. And yes, she's white as the day. And I don't know why she thinks she's black in some videos. If we want to watch that again, we can go through a quick one. I want to show you what she looks like. Leanne, hello. Glad you got your membership. Everybody else, get your membership. I know I can't stand her too. And if you have the Mias, I know it's coming up towards the end of the month and Thanksgiving. It only if you have the means to donate, please do. Sizzle says, like, are these people possessed? I think so. Let me hit play and go grab Wes. That dog. Hold
an
on.
accident, that someone had given her a gun, but also
An
she said
accident.
that, quote, she's in such a bad spot and is, quote, so stupid, and that, quote, she would never do anything like this unless someone manipulated her. The gun, by the way, was reportedly found on the bed. Detective Beal also testified that Lucas, quote, made statements that she was being manipulated through Facebook, through the internet, or through Wi-Fi, through Facebook and through her Wi-Fi, being manipulated into doing what she did. She was charged with 2 counts of murder, as I said, and a Bullitt County judge set a $2 million bond for Lucas, saying that she is a danger to others.
Thank you.
Well, now we want to get into a little bit more of this, and I want to bring on correspondent for the Law and Crime Network and host of Crime Fix, Anjanette Levy. Anjanette, always good to see you. Thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jesse. I'm sorry it has to be for such a really awful story, but I think it's important that we talk about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's something that a lot of my guests say. I wish it was under better circumstances, but those are the cases that we're covering. You actually cover this quite a bit on your show, Crime Fix. Just to start off, what is your reaction, your thoughts on this? Because, it's one that we want to keep covering because it's so shocking.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of thoughts on it, actually. It would have been interesting for us to have gone to the preliminary hearing. We didn't. But here are my thoughts on this. It's so weird how people can look so together on social media. That's why I think social media is often so deceiving. We saw those pictures of her on Halloween or around Halloween with her kids. They look all happy. They're in their costumes. Everybody's having fun, when it sounds like, from everything we're learning, that, her life was a wreck behind the scenes. And I think this is probably somebody who I know that the family members of the two boys say we don't believe that she had mental health issues. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But I know a lot of times people who struggle with addiction and who are addicted to drugs, they're self-medicating. They get into drugs because they do have mental health issues, and they're taking drugs, or they get into drugs to feel normal, or they try drugs and if they get hooked. It's all how your body and your brain reacts to the drugs once it gets into your system. So she may have some mental health problems coupled with these
Not
addiction
enough.
issues, and it just creates this perfect storm. It doesn't make her not responsible for her actions, and it sounds clearly like she killed her little boys.
Working here, researching, covering the stories we do, you quickly realize you're
And now we're gonna have an ad because they
dealing with a
love
see-through
ads.
backpack.
No, we don't want that.
Time. That's right. You can
No, we don't want any of that. I have a better clip in a little bit. I'm going to play for you of the stepmother advocating. The stepmother advocated for the children, and I really want you to see it because we did do no mental health issues. We did do a deep dive into this, and I really wanted to capture the stepmom really advocating for those boys because someone needed to do that. She doesn't have mental health issues. Now, when we watch the body cam, I want you to see how she's spinning out of control on there. Now, whether it's fake or whether it's not, whether she had a temporary mental breakdown. A lot of people do. They have panic attacks, anxiety, but they don't take their children's lives. And what's up? Nope, not today. How you doing? Yeah, Lisa Lynn says pain meds, LOL. Yeah, I took the pain meds, 2 little Advil or Tylenol or whatever the heck you call them. I took 2 little round, little brown looking pills so I can talk with you guys today. I felt like I got punched in the face, but besides that, I want to punch this lady in the face. Thank you all for being here today. You could be anywhere else. Tomorrow, you're going to be here with Jennifer and myself, Jennifer Coffendorfer, FBI agent, and we're going to break down Jennifer Soto and the Madeline Soto case. All right. Yes, Jay took her meds. All right. We have a lot to get into today. I'm going to recap this and then I'm going to go over the stepmother's interview. I really think it's important for us to see that together.
She has some history of drug abuse, and so whether or not she was ever really clean, I
Look at
don't
her
know.
color.
But she had that one charge, and that's really the only charge we know about. And people who do drugs, I mean, drug addiction, especially when you're talking about opioids and stuff like that in this country, it's an epidemic. So you could be doing drugs and using drugs, have drugs, and nobody realizes or nobody knows, or you don't get caught because so many people.
What about Tylenol? Now, I don't think opioids were a problem with this lady or this evil monster. I think it was methamphetamines were the major factor, and we'll get into that when the stepmom talks about it. But I believe, and you can see in the pictures where this Tiffanie Lucas chick is very up and down in her weight. When she's up, you can tell. Then she's on the heavier side. You can tell she's probably laying off using. When she opened up her store, we saw her open up a little store with snacks and such, and then she got arrested for possession of methamphetamine. So then at that point we see her being thinner. That was the downfall of her life, and I believe it played a factor, although it's not an excuse for taking her boy's life.
Walking around, you go to the grocery store, who knows if the person next to you in the produce section is struggling with addiction and has a drug addiction problem. You just don't know, because people can often put on a mask and look like they're normal on the outside. So we do know that she had a history of drug addiction, but it was only that one charge. It was just that one criminal charge that we are aware of.
Yeah. So like you said, it was 2018. She pled guilty to these drug charges. She was sentenced 30 days in jail, but there were no arrests from 2018 until, of course, these shootings. I believe a family friend had actually reached out to local news and said that, she was very confused and shocked by this. Everything seemed to be okay and seemed to be fine.
No, it didn't, because CPS was over that house many times. CPS got called many times. And hello, Miss Jessica NB. How you doing? LA film scene crack is whack. I agree. Yeah, I did. I took a little brown ibuprofen. Thank you. Nope, not today. That's what it was. But in this picture, she's browner. She likes to paint herself brown and then pretend like she's something else. I think she was on meth quite a bit, and people did reach out. Everyone didn't fail those little boys except for CPS and her. There were people advocating, and go back and watch the other parts. We'll get into some of that today. The CPS people that got called were actually over there. They went and they said, I've been to this house before. We got called for CPS. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Anna. What's up? Good to see everybody. Yeah. Trigger warning for this. It is a trigger warning case. So we got the potato. You could thank Jen Soto for that. All right, let's keep going. We got a big show.
And one of the chilling things is there was a report, I think from 2016, when she had opened up a business. She was a business owner, Tiffany and Lucas, at one point, right?
We saw that.
So Tiffanie Lucas opened Tiff's one-stop shop back in 2016. So if you look at the timeline here, being a small business owner is a really difficult job. And so she didn't have that store open very long. And if you look at the timeline here, she's on the news talking about being a small business owner, opening this business. She had done an interview with WDRB down there in Kentucky about this.
Yep.
And so it's 2016. Then she's got these drug charges in 2018. The business was not successful. It eventually closed. So who knows what was going on there? Is she not able to successfully run this business because she has these struggles with addiction? So she had at least been trying, it appears, to do something good. I mean, she's trying to run a business, and it didn't work out for her.
Yeah, she had told WDRB, I cook hot food in here. It's really what sells the best. She says a lot of people don't make their way down here, but if there's a Walmart, come out of the woodwork for Walmart. So probably would have brought a lot of people to, stop and check.
And now I want you guys to go back if you don't have anything to do later on this week, or you want to go watch a show and catch up on this after her sentencing or before her sentencing. We really did dive deep into this, and I have her on interview. It's like a 2-minute interview. So go back to part 1 and watch all 3 parts, maybe before sentencing or after. Michelle says she has gout. Who has gout? This lady? And how do you know? I have no idea about that. And Michelle Allender, yeah, she looks bloated in some pictures and other pictures not. I don't think it's bloated. I think she fluctuates in her weight, and methamphetamines is what was the big downfall of her one-stop shop. I don't know anything about gout. I've never heard that about her at all. She's more of a bleached whale than a potato. Thank you, Veronica. I agree. And we can call her anything because at this point, she's not even alleged anymore. She's the perpetrator, and she's pled guilty.
Us out, but like you said, that business closed up. By the way, we also learned something, I think, relatively recently. We learned relatively recently about the house where the shootings happened. What do we know what's happening with that house?
Well, it was a rental house, Jesse. And we know that when family members had gone to clean out the house because Tiffanie Lucas is in jail and sadly the boys are deceased. The house was a wreck. It was a mess. And as you can imagine, if she is struggling with mental illness and she's actually claiming that she's being manipulated through Wi-Fi, who knows? Maybe she was hearing voices. Who knows? She was or not. We just don't know what the actual truth is here. We have to wait and find out more. She may have just been trying to get by. I don't know. But the house was a wreck. There were eviction notices all over the place. So her life was in shambles. And put that next to the photo on Facebook.
This was the last photo 2 weeks before she executed these young boys. The house was like a hoarder house and it took them so long. It took the first responders so long to even get in the house to get to those boys. So when we watched the body cam in the first part of this, people were saying, aren't the boys still alive in the house? They were in fact alive. They were alive, but the officers and the first responders couldn't even get through to get them. They had to clear out a bunch of stuff to get to them. And because one of the neighbors said they, in fact, saw those boys shot in the head where they wouldn't be able to survive, it wasn't like they were trying to get in. Yeah, Veronica, we're gonna listen to that in a moment. Absolutely. Aunts have spoken out, stepmother spoken out, father spoken out. Absolutely. These boys were loved.
From Halloween. And then there's that other photo where it appears they're like at a Lego store or something like that. That looks like a perfect day out with the kids, with the boys. And then they walk into the house and everything's a wreck. And there are eviction notices everywhere. Those two images,
show.
they do not square.
But there were
All
efforts
show.
in the past to reach Child Protective Services because it seems, at least from the brother of the boys, he'd claimed that family members had called CPS. They had concerns over the years, no?
Yeah, that is true,
Yeah.
Jesse. Some of the family members do claim that and that they were concerned. But I'll tell you what, when I worked in local news, I covered a tri-state
We don't
area for 10 years that included Kentucky. It was Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And especially in Kentucky, in any state really, but really in Kentucky especially, it's like impossible to take kids away from a parent, especially a mother.
Yep.
And when you make these complaints, first of all, these child protective services agencies, there's a lot going on here, and we don't know the ins and outs of what the complaints were and how those were handled.
But we do know many times children are failed by CPS. Black Eagle, the awesome uppity a-hole. Welcome to the new millennium. Social media often lies. Well, also people blaming, and I've heard this before. I've heard cases like this where a mother says the internet told her to do it, or some kind of app told her to do it after she strangled one of her children or did something. I've heard that, and this is not going to be the first or the last time. I'm glad you made it. Good to see you. We still have a huge show that we just got started.
A lot of times these places, these agencies, they're overwhelmed. You have these low paid social workers investigating these claims and these complaints. And, it takes a lot to get children removed from a home.
Yeah.
So we don't know the exact nature of the complaints, how they
Yep.
were handled. Many times those complaints
Exactly.
are kept secret. They're confidential for many reasons. Maybe we'll learn more about that as the court process unfolds. But these agencies, these people are overwhelmed, overworked. We don't know if that was part of this at all, but it's like impossible to get kids at times out of a house. I mean, did they
Yeah.
go to court? Did they go to court and file paperwork and say,
They
look, we
did.
think these kids are in danger. We need a TRO or something. We don't know
Right.
that. I don't know if that even happened. But if they made complaints to Child Protective Services agencies, we're going to have to wait to see what happened with those and how those were handled.
You had mentioned court. Do we know what the next step in this process is, when her next court appearance is or anything like that?
Yes, it's Friday the 22nd for sentencing, so we don't need to get into that. We got into a lot of this. This is kind of everything you need to know pre-sentencing. Let's wrap this up so we can get into an interview and that we can finish the body cam.
To themselves, we would have helped. We would have done something. We would have taken the boys. I mean, anytime you hear about something like this, there are always people that say we would have had we have known. Obviously, if family members are saying we made complaints and we would have done, we would have helped, or we were trying to cry for help and those cries fell on deaf ears.
2
I mean, we
weeks
still don't have
before.
enough information to know, but this has been a shock to the community. And those boys, being a parent is really challenging, but this is just, anytime a child is harmed like this, it's beyond the pale and it's horrible. And I think people are just horrified by this. Those little
Yep.
boys were beautiful, and it's heartbreaking.
It really is. And I'll just leave everybody with this. So Michelle Rice, who's Maurice's stepmother, she told
There it is.
WDRB that family, as you mentioned, had reached out to Child Protective Services. She believes that drug abuse played a role.
Yep.
And she basically, in response to what the allegation was that, like Lucas was manipulated. She said, nobody can manipulate.
All right, we're gonna watch this instead of read this. Nobody can manipulate you to do such a horrific thing. Nobody can manipulate you to do that. We love them so much. I'm gonna show you who that is that was advocating, in fact, for the children. And she has a lot to say about this lady. She has a lot to say about this. Well, I don't even want to call Tiffanie Lucas a lady. I just want to call her like the devil, a demon. I don't know who can do that. So let's watch that instead of reading it. Let's check that out, and then we'll get into the body cam part 3. I'm making you guys wait because I want this story to be told so bad in the proper way. Right. Plus, there's not a lot of body cam left.
They were great little boys. Like, I don't understand
Stepmom.
how someone, like, just even knowing them could do something like that.
A plea is entered. The judge rules on bond, and there are reports of a misidentified body. We're talking about the developments in the case of Tiffanie Lucas, the Kentucky mother accused of killing her 2 young sons. And we are discussing all of this with the stepmother of one of these slain boys. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We've covered this.
All right. I want to get into her. Let's show her in court, and then I'm going to get into the interview. I want you to see.
Ma'am, you are.
I want you to see her resting bitch face, how she's in court. She was a drug addict. We're going to hear about it. She ain't no lady. Foxy Amazon says she a hoe. Walking in the court. I couldn't have said that any better. Fish face. All right. We'll watch this, and then I'll fast forward to stepmom and what dirt she dishes on this evil piece of work.
Or before the court for arraignment, do you have an attorney to represent?
No.
Do you wish to apply for appointment of an attorney?
Sure. Yes. Yes, sir.
The judge upheld her $2 million bond and announced the trial date will be set for early 2024. Lucas will have a status hearing in January.
No
to find out
trial.
who exactly from the public defender's office will be representing her. And then an actual trial date will likely be set at a pre-trial conference scheduled for March. All right. So with all of that in mind, joining us today to talk about these latest court
is the stepmom, and the
case,
dad
in the
did.
middle of everything going.
The dad did step in, LA. The dad stepped in. What's up, Wyatt? Yeah, about uppity. She looks so arrogant, and I don't know about what. Yeah, her face. And I wanted to bring up Christopher Greger and Corey Michelow because that's what happened with little Corey Michelow. His life was taken after 100 calls to CPS by Bree Michelow, his mom and grandma Rebecca, after seeing the treadmill of him running and falling down. That's how he ultimately died. They still granted the dad custody and gave him right back. So they're suing CPS and the system. I don't think that's going to happen in this case. Let's keep going and watch the stepmom of Reese, aka Maurice. That's his stepmom. Little Jaden's dad passed away. Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace, Corey. Rest in peace, Jaden and Maurice, 6 and 9 years old. Now let's listen to the family. Then we can get into the body cam once the whole story is told completely in these 3 episodes.
Going on, but I just want to say again, I am so sorry for what you have lost. I'm so sorry for what your family is going through. It's unimaginable. And in the midst of this, to come on to talk about, I know is not easy. So we very much appreciate it.
No.
The first thing I just want to ask is, how you doing? How you doing? How's the family doing?
We're okay. It's a big change on all of us. So unexpected. It's just, I really can't put into words, how much it's affected us and things like that. We talk about it all the time still. We think about it all the time. It's just, I don't think it'll ever kind of change. It'll be the same for us, from the way it is now.
Now keep in mind, this is a stepmother of Maurice. They called him Reese. Now, if you listen to this woman and you look at her, she's a person of color, just like me. I'm brown, I'm Hispanic. This lady is, I don't know what exactly she is, but like me, I'm Puerto Rican and Spanish. I'm a person of color. Now, Tiffanie Lucas wasn't a person of color, but she tried to be. She tried to be something she wasn't. You saw her in many pictures looking that way. You heard her in many videos trying to sound like this lady right here, when in fact she wasn't. And then other times sounding like she should sound. So it's really interesting that she tried to be like the stepmom, and I'm not sure what she was going for. I'm not sure. I wish I knew, but I don't think she's ever going to talk. but let's listen to her in the body cam. She doesn't talk like that.
Before we even get into any of the case or what's going on, I look at the pictures of these boys, Maurice and Jaden, and they look like the sweetest, most innocent boys. They look like they were so full of life. The one thing that we
Aw,
haven't been
thank
able to
you.
understand is just who they were, what they were like. So, what were Maurice and Jaden like?
They were, sorry.
No, it's okay. I
Um,
understand.
they were the sweetest little boys. They were so polite. They were happy. They did both love playing the video games and stuff like that. Little Reese, we called him Little Reese. He loved playing soccer and loved playing outside and riding his bike and stuff like that. They were great little boys. Like, I don't understand.
And she's just more devastated than we've ever seen Tiffanie. Now, Synth, I'm not sure what you're saying. You can't see y'all in chat. Let me know in chat what you can't see. I'm basically just pointing down to show you that Tiffanie Lucas executed her 2 young boys, Jaden 9 and Marie 6. I'm pointing at the scroll bar. And then Dion Pill says, "You're beautiful, Jay." I always point at the comments and then to the scroll bar to tell you to hit the like button or whatever is below. So yeah, do hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then share. This is important that you share with the community. I love Foxy Amazon keeps saying she a hoe, she a hoe. Wyatt, you were here. She executed them with a, they don't like, what you shoot with, we're gonna say. She executed them. No, she executed them with what you shot that deer with down there, with a what you shoot with. Okay, we'll just say that. YouTube doesn't like the other word. She shot them in the head.
And how someone, like, just even knowing them could do something like that. Like, it's so hard for me sometimes to explain or talk because it's just so not understandable. Like,
And look, it's also fresh. I mean, this just happened. So, it's
yeah.
completely understandable. What was your relationship like with them? What did you guys do together? How often did you see them?
So I saw him, I was around since he was born. We saw him as much as she let us. It was always an issue with her. It was never normal.
Tiffanie, you mean Tiffanie?
Tiffanie, yeah.
Yeah.
The pickup and drop off was never normal. The times were never consistent. It just,
Of course
things were
not.
with her, just, they weren't normal. Nothing was normal. She kept him from so much things we used to try to do for him, birthday
See?
parties, Christmas.
See?
During those times, she would purposely keep
No.
him. We threw big birthday parties for Christmas time. He wouldn't get his presents.
All right, Synth, you're fired. Synth, how many times did I say this is the stepmom? Synth, come on. I hope you guys got it. Thank you, Em. This is the stepmom. This is the only stepmom that advocated for those children. Maurice's stepmom, and the other dad passed away. One of them had a dad, one of them didn't. It's the stepmother. Where did you step away, Synth, and not listen? You're so fired. Yeah, so freaking cute. So cute. All right. I do feel for this mama bear. You hear that she was trying to do things with these children, even though one of them wasn't even even theirs. They still spent time with the children. Yeah. Tylenol's making me salty. Yeah, I feel like I got punched in the face. So you guys could make me feel better if you why don't you share some actually, I'm gonna try to gift some memberships while we're playing this. Hopefully YouTube lets me. All right, let's keep going.
Till around Valentine's Day. So when we did get him, we would try to keep him, for as long as we could before she, went into whatever crazy stage she would go into.
Meth.
A lot of people see the social media side of her, and that's just the social media side. It's not really how she was, off the camera, versus how, like, personal relationship you would see her really act or see the crazy side of her.
So when you say that, because I remember, like, there was a photo that she posted of her and the kids, like, on Halloween right before this. You're saying that was all an act?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
She did things because she wanted people to see her as a certain way, but that's not really how she was. That's just how she wanted to be seen as, like on social media. Nobody really knew, behind the scenes of her, like her drug issues. She never had a job. She never worked, things like that. Like, the boys were taken from her previously when they were smaller, due drugs,
See?
things like that. But they were given back. The court, we tried to reach out to CPS. They let us down. They didn't follow up. They
CPS.
said what we said wasn't strong enough, drugs, leaving the kids at home by themselves, things like that. But they wouldn't follow up with things like that. And these boys were, 2, 3,
Yep.
4, they're only 3 years apart. So they were very young during this time that we were reaching out to CPS, things like that. They did nothing.
Has
Do you hear this? This was an ongoing battle. And hello, Soho 212. I'm glad you're here to catch a live. Very heartbreaking. This was not something that was unnoticed. This was not something that wasn't reported. This is not something that people weren't talking about. This was not something that wasn't filed in the paperwork. This is not something that that just went unseen. It was saw by people, many people, by the parents, by the aunts, by the family, and they did nothing. They did nothing. She does look like a blow up doll in one of the photos. She looks very fake when you look at her house, and it's filthy, and the drugs she's on, another failure from CPS, all of it is just completely fake. And that's why I call it fake book. I don't even call it Facebook anymore. It's absolutely fake book. Nobody goes on there and tells you, yeah, I just got in a fight with my husband, or my kids are being a-holes or whatever. It's all, yeah, look at my children on the first day of school. They don't tell you that your children on the first day of school didn't want to go because they didn't want to leave mommy or whatever. They don't tell you that. It's fake book for a reason. When you see something like that, just know it's probably not real.
has CPS reached out to you since this has happened? Because I know that's been a big point of conversation that they apparently didn't do enough.
Yeah, they have not.
Do you plan on taking any kind of legal action against them?
Possibly.
Yes.
Yeah, we probably will.
Yep.
You mentioned the fact that Lucas wouldn't allow the boys, or wouldn't allow Maurice to see you or to hang out with you guys and to do. What was her justification? Did she just not pick up the phone? Did she go to the door? You go to the door and she just wouldn't answer? I mean, or did she say, I'm not allowing him to come out of the house for whatever reason? Like, why would
All
she
of
not
the
allow him
above.
to see?
All of the above. There's no reason. He had a home here, he had a room here, he has family here. He has a father, he has me, he has his little brother here. She didn't want him to have a relationship with his little brother. She really tried to take really as much away from Reese as she could. She was very, very selfish, very selfish. It was
Reese.
never about making Reese happy or what could have made Reese happy. It was more about what she was happy with, or what she didn't want him to have, or what she didn't want him to experience with us.
I'm going to ask you the big question here. Why do you think this happened?
Yep.
I mean, if she really did this, you talked about the drug issues. You talked about
She did do it.
Why would she kill her own children?
And before she speculates on that, she did do it. She's pled guilty at this point. Yes, I'm sure the children had to wake mommy up, and I'm sure the day she took their life, she woke them up, led them in the bathroom, and then executed them with a pew, however you want to call that, in the head. I don't know how the oldest dad, the dad died. I did a deep dive on that. So you can go back to episode 1. I have a whole deep dive on the father and him passing. I don't have a report on him right now. All right. Yeah. Controlling biatch. Very selfish. She only wanted what she can get out of it. And she looks like that kind of person in her pictures. There's 100 pictures of her to every 5 of her children.
Honestly, I can't tell you why, but I would say just out of selfish reasons. She was competent.
Yep.
She was very aware of what she did. She knows what
Yep,
she
a
did. Even the
GUN.
emotions, she shows no emotions. She goes on camera. She has that same look is that same look she always has. That nasty, just she's not a person you can really get along with consistently. She's very inconsistent.
Yes.
Did she
Tell
ever
it.
give any
Tell
indication
it.
she didn't want to be a mom?
So indication, not literally saying I don't want to, but there was times where yes, she wouldn't, when maybe it was her time to get little Reese back, she wouldn't pick up the phone, or she would, like I said, be on drugs and be gone for a month at a time and wouldn't pick up the phone.
Damn.
So there's things that kind of she had options. He had family, he had us, he had, she just didn't want anything good for him, because it was about her, not him.
She's come out and said through the detective who testified that, she allegedly said this was an accident, that someone gave her a gun, that she was in a bad spot, that she was manipulated. What do you make of those claims?
Excuses, just something to say, because to me that like an accident, like that there's no accident. How you don't there's no accident. Like you can't accidentally do that. There's two of your baby
Yeah, two baby boys in the head. GUN. Thank you. That's much better. You don't accidentally do that. So that was her being selfish. And she's one of those mothers that we all know, the mothers that have a baby daddy and they have two baby daddies or three baby daddies and they only had the children to trap the guy. And then when the guy leaves them, they're stuck with these kids and they look like that lady right there, that evil lady right there. So, baby daddy one, baby daddy two, baby daddy three. Oh, you're not giving me anything anymore. I don't get attention anymore. I don't even like these kids. I had them just because I wanted your attention. That's what she looks like to me, and that's how she acts. And this lady, the stepmom, is really just saying it how she sees it.
boys that you intentionally killed. You went to the neighbors, you told them that. Like
Yep.
she was competent. She knew exactly what she did, and I believe that's what she wanted. Like
What do
she
you
knew
do,
what she did.
do you have any idea what she's talking about, that she was manipulated through Wi-Fi or the internet or Facebook or whatever that means?
I have no idea what that could
Right?
mean, honestly.
What about the fact
I
that she had this gun? Like, do you know where she would have gotten it from or anything? Because she said someone gave it to her.
I believe probably one of those guys maybe she dealt with. Like I said, she didn't have a job or anything, so her
Sex
ways of
worker.
making money or, escorting ways, whatever, maybe something like that,
You know that she was escorting to make money?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she
Told
never
you.
had a job. I mean, how else do you make money without a job? You know?
Um, did you ever see anything like?
And there's no problem. Be an escort, be a sex worker, be an OnlyFans, whatever, but don't take your children's life. Savage Barbie, they found them in the bathroom, I believe, from watching the body cam. They didn't talk about her going in and individually. I believe she probably had them at the same time in there. And right, Bean, they looked malnourished. There's no way they looked 6 and 9 years old. I love you guys saying she's a hoe in chat. Yeah, it's confirmed. Breaking news. She's a hoe.
Like this? Did she say to anybody that she was
Yeah,
doing
she was
this?
we've seen like things like that. I believe she left her email up before. And she left her email up on a computer she was using and it was in her emails and stuff like that. And it's known, like people who know her know things like that.
Did she have any mental health issues other than drug abuse? Anything you know about?
No.
Hmm.
She's just a
And
hoe.
you've talked about the concerns. You spoke to CPS. You said that she was abusing drugs. And just to reiterate, their response sounds incredibly inadequate. And I mean, why? What else did they need? And let me go back. You said the kids were taken away from her at one point. Why were they taken back? Why were they taken away? And how did she get them back?
They were taken away. She tested positive for drugs. And she got them back. There's ways, to work the system, of course. And she worked the system and she got them back. And then there was no follow-up, which I don't understand either. Because if they would have, then I'm sure they would have found something. Their living conditions inside the house were crazy. I never would have thought that it looked like that, honestly. But it looked horrible. It looked really
I
bad.
have it. I
Did
have her
Reese or Jaden
profile.
ever say anything to you that they're concerned about their mom? They're worried about where they're living? Anything that they talked about their mom in any way? Or
Go back to part 1 or look up Celine Ann. I actually have her fake book. Her profile is locked, but it's not locked on my end. So I actually have it. Her name is Celine Tiffanie Ann, and it's got all the dirt on it about everything. You could see all her pictures. Nothing's unlocked, Cindy. Go back to part 1 or just go there. Yeah, Reese, good to know. His name was Maurice. They called him Reese, like my daughter. Now, Savage Barbie says, can we get a family court to understand how mother's not the best place for children? No, we can't. That's not going to happen probably in our lifetime.
No, so when little Reese was little, as a young child, you don't really know what not to say.
Nope.
So he was the one that was letting us know, like he was being left at home with just his brother, or being left alone in the car. with his brother, and mom locks the car, things like that. So
Damn.
we were aware of things, then things she was into and things like that. So it's not like, oh, this, we kind of know her background. Not kind of, we know her background and stuff like that. So
Did
Tell
you
it,
ever
tell
have a
it.
chance to confront her about what's been going on?
no.
She ought to slap the shit out of her if I'd have confronted her.
I understand you were in court this past week when she was brought in. What did you make of her demeanor?
Hairless. To me,
Babe.
she looks like, yeah, I did it. And she has that eyebrows raised,
So?
selfish look on her face. And that look has, since I used to pick up and drop off with little Reese, that's her look always. Very nasty. It was never easy, dealing with her, anything like that, ever.
So, Michelle, as I'm sure you know, she's charged with 2 counts of capital murder. She could be eligible for the death penalty if she's convicted. Is that something that you would want?
Most definitely. Anything less would be a slap on the wrist. Most definitely.
And that's why she pled guilty. Now, the sentencing phase is going to be this Friday, the 22nd. She's not going to get the death penalty. She took a plea. They gave this lady a plea, and I believe to save people from being in court and having to see the autopsies and all of that stuff that they would have to go through. So I think the family probably didn't want to see those little boys the way that they were. The first responders were, one of them was crying, and you can tell they were all shooken up. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be if you saw 2 boys executed like that? Little boys. I don't know the caliber, but I'm imagining it's nothing less than a 9mm. Ugh.
It's this trial, if it goes to trial, it's going to be a process. It's going to be a long process unless she somehow takes a deal. If a deal was offered for life in prison, but that it doesn't go to trial, would that be something that you would accept, or you would tell the prosecutors this is not something that we're okay with?
No, we want the death penalty. That's what we want. She deserves to
Sorry.
die. Like, definitely.
Doesn't.
Michelle, I have to ask you about this other aspect. As if this case, wasn't heartbreaking enough, we're hearing that there was some sort of mix-up between the Children's Hospital and the coroner's office regarding Reese's body. Can you talk to us what happened here?
So for some reason, little Reese side of the family wasn't given the opportunity to identify the bodies. And so when we had private arrangements for little Reese, when we went in, it was Jaden laying there in little Reese's, attire and casket and everything like that. And we called the coroner, and for somewhere, which we're not getting information, we're back and forth, we're not getting good information on this. We don't know, who identified them, first off, and why they were tagged, or what information was put on them, why it happened that way.
Yeah,
because nobody can identify them but the family. I mean, nobody else would know them,
Yeah, so the way I understand it is the coroner's office told local media, Wave News, that it's on Children's Hospital, Norton Children's Hospital. It's their responsibility to tag the boys correctly before they go to the coroner. The hospital told Wave that they didn't know how this happened and they're looking into it. What do you make of that?
It doesn't make sense, because I don't understand why we weren't given a chance to identify his body, because there's the mistake. So whatever process there is for the family to identify the body, it was skipped.
Didn't work.
It wasn't taken seriously. They just, I don't know. How do you just say this is him and this is him without, no, you don't know them. Like, you can't just identify a person and you don't know them. The steps weren't taken properly.
Have you eventually had the opportunity to see Reese?
Yes. So that day they did take care of that, and we did handle getting them switched back.
Just
man.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that as well. Look, Michelle, I don't want to take too much more of your time. This is incredibly difficult to talk about. What do you want everyone to know as this case progresses? And clearly talking about Reese and talking about Jaden is a way to keep their memory alive. And I like the opportunity to talk more about them and who they were. But what would you like people to know as this story continues?
I just want everyone to know that they were sweet little boys. They didn't deserve it, and that she deserves the death penalty for this, because there's no reason behind them not being able to be here and celebrate Christmas today with us, and go to school and live their life.
Now, Michelle, my understanding is there's something that you're doing in Reese's memory, right?
Yeah, so for his kindergarten class, we're getting the boys and girls some Christmas gifts, and we're giving throwing like
Can you see they cared about both of the boys? All right, you guys, we just did a recap and I had to show her because that was one of the only people advocating for the children. Carla, I agree with Michelle too. Michelle is the stepmother. The aunt also is in there advocating. And we're now going to get into the body cam. This is almost over. And this is what we came for today was to finish part 3 of the body cam, but I really wanted to tell Jaden and Maurice's full story, and I wanted to have it documented so that anyone could go back and watch all 3 parts. And I did a really deep dive into them. Synth, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime memberships. I don't know if today's one of those days that, we're all out of funds and gifting. I can't even gift right now. I've tried to go on to YouTube 3 times to gift and it's being stuck. It's getting stuck and it doesn't let me gift on my phone. So I'm sorry about that. I know we're all sad. I was trying to make light of it by gifting memberships and stuff, but again, trigger warning. We're going to watch that evil bitch right now. As soon as this part's over, we're going to get out of that sad mode and we're going to talk shit about that evil lady. And we're going to do potato trigger warnings. Thank you so much, Savage Barbie. I appreciate you guys. I know that we run out of funding and I don't want you guys to be spending your money when you can't afford it, but I do appreciate I am a fan funded channel. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're still going on this, y'all. And if you have the time, go back, watch all 3 parts. Many people did not cover this case. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor reached out to me and asked me to pull down the body cam footage before sentencing, and I didn't. So we're gonna finish that last part, and we don't have to. We paid for it. We get to watch it.
we're calling it a Reesemas Day
Mm.
for him because we know
Aw,
like how much he
Reese's
loved going to
Day.
school and he loved his friends and things like that. So we're gonna do a day for them and give them Christmas gifts and stuff like that.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's always an incredibly difficult thing, but especially now during the holidays coming up, I can only imagine how difficult it is for you and the families. Michelle Rice, thank you so much for coming on, talking more about
Thank
this.
you,
And I just want you to know that
Diana.
I'm sending my best wishes to all of you right now as you go through with this. But thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, and we are more than likely gonna see Michelle at sentencing. I cannot imagine that Michelle's gonna miss the sentencing on Friday. I just need help from the mods to figure out when the sentencing is going to happen on Friday. I don't know what time. I definitely want to bring that to you. I don't know if I could bring it live, but I'm gonna try. I know you guys love when I come on and just do a pop-up live while I'm at work. I love it too. I love you guys. You're awesome. Thank you, Diana L, for the 199 super sticker. Choo choo. And also, we just hit 222 people in chat. So say a prayer for Maurice and Jaden. We have to remember the victims, okay? That's what we're here for, is the victims. All right, let's watch this evil woman. We're going to watch the last 10 minutes and then we're going to look at her in orange, all right? Lori, sending love to you, all right? Let's do this, y'all. I want to watch the last like 9 minutes. If we watch some of it, some people didn't, and then we're going to watch the last 20 of her in orange.
Okay, what time is it now? It's all right by 9 minutes. If somebody knocks on the door, I'll let them know. I appreciate it. All right, brother. Bye-bye.
Hi, Bowie. I don't know. They just asked me to pull it. They asked me to pull I showed you guys the email. The prosecutor asked me to take it down.
Why is it doing that?
My phone.
As soon as you walk in the door? That's weird, right?
It's weird.
It's weird. As soon as people walk, sounds, that's not right.
No. Let me shut this.
See?
Let me shut this.
It's not right. See?
Not for right. Okay.
Every time I say something, your phone's going off.
Believe me, I wish it wasn't going off.
She's tripping.
My phone's going off. Let me see.
God, right.
Hmm?
God.
Let's see.
Oh, wait.
Cankles. You see her cankles?
What's your name, hon?
Tiffany.
How do you spell it?
Tiffanie.
Oh my God.
Tiffanie.
Mhm.
What's your last name?
Lucas.
Lucas.
You know my name.
I've got it in there, but I swear to God, it's in there, and I didn't
It
feel
was
like
written
I
on
was.
everything in the back of the police cars.
I'm telling
I
you,
seen it.
I don't.
No,
I can go in
seen
the other
it.
room and get it.
No, in the
I'm
back
just
of the
letting
police
you
cars,
know.
there's white things with Lucas written on them. I seen it.
Really.
Yes.
I have not seen that. Huh? I have not seen that. What's your middle name?
Yes.
Do you have a middle name? What is it?
I have two.
Oh.
And Kevin.
Ann Catherine? All right.
She's crazy. And she did pee herself, y'all. She definitely peed herself. They're just, there it is.
You
She's
are
tripping.
almost the exact same age as my son. So, yeah.
Hit the like
Um,
button.
Well, I'm going to talk to you today about what happened earlier. Okay, but can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I mean, where are you from, or where you grew up, or anything like that?
I know it.
Real quickly, if you guys just joined, this is part 3. I've done all other body cams. There's 4 body cams. I've crammed all 4 into 3 episodes, and we're watching the last of the 3. Yes, this is the last part of the interview right now, Miss Odin. Please go back and watch the other parts. We do want to get those watch hours and those likes and the shares, because I noticed these videos are getting in the algorithm for people to have awareness. Many people didn't know about Jaden and Maurice being executed, and I think they need to know about CPS failing. This was in Kentucky. If we don't hear about it, we're not going to know about it. We need to bring awareness. And I noticed today when I was Googling something, I looked up Tiffany Ann and my video came up. So that's good. That's good news. All right. So yeah, go back and watch it. Hit play. Go do your cleaning or whatever you're cooking.
Crazy, but I'm not.
Huh?
Because I know I look crazy, but I'm not crazy.
I don't think you look crazy. I'm just trying to, if I'm going to talk to someone, I'd rather know who they are. I can tell you a little bit about me.
I love my children.
You tell me a little bit about you. Okay.
I love my children. I love my boys so much.
Oh,
I wouldn't hurt them, but I just feel like I felt back and I didn't. I was letting them play the video games and I wasn't like focusing how I was supposed to, and they get that video game and the YouTube and the kids, it just messes their minds up to where people can manipulate their parents or do whatever they want. And I feel like someone put something upon my house or me or something. Like, I just don't feel right. I'm not, like, I don't do this. I love my kids.
You don't do this because you don't have any more boys left. That's why you don't do this. She a hoe. Get it together. You took your boys' lives. You don't have any more boys to take their lives. Get it together. Yeah, she fried her braid indeed, Em.
How old are your kids?
You don't know?
How old are your boys?
Jaden's 9, Marshall's 6.
Jaden is 9, Maurice is 6.
Are you from a little area?
No,
Where are you from?
I'm from the Chicago area.
Oh, really? How long you been here?
Like 11 years.
Okay. How'd you end up coming to Louisville?
I just came.
I'm sorry?
I just came.
Oh, just decided to move?
Yep. We watched the interview. Very malnourished.
I'm gonna let you know what your rights are, okay? You probably watch TV before, movies and TV shows, and they read the rights. It's called Miranda, okay? It's called Miranda warnings, okay? It's your rights. Miranda rights, okay? So,
I'm not trying to be rude.
no, you do. So I'm gonna read them off to you, and if you have any questions, you let me know, okay? You may remain silent. Anything you do say may be used against you in court or other proceedings. Understand so far? Okay. You have the right to consult an attorney before you make any statement or answer any questions, and you may have your attorney with you during the questions. Understand that? Okay. You may request the court to appoint an attorney for you if you cannot afford to hire one. So if it gets to the point where you may need an attorney, anybody who needs an attorney but can't afford one, they'll appoint one. The courts will pay for it, the public defender pays for it, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay. And you can stop the questioning. I hope you don't, because we're getting along pretty well, but you may stop the questioning at any time by just refusing to answer any further questions.
Oh,
or
I'm
by
sure she is.
requesting to consult with your attorney. Okay, understand that? Okay. If you wish, you can waive these rights
Oh, you're good.
and talk to me, answer questions. I'll answer your questions. You answer my questions without consulting an attorney first. Okay. So
She keeps.
basically, this says right here, and don't take offense when I ask you this. I ask everybody this because there's a lot of people that don't know how to read, but you know how to read, right? Okay. I asked everybody. So it just says, have the above statement of all rights read and explained to me, and I fully understand it. I hereby waive these rights.
All right, y'all. Next video. This is what next and final video. We're going to see her. And thanks again to Plunder, Paula from Plunder. Let's go back and check this out. I love Paula's. I love all her stuff. All right, let's take a look. We got a lot of cases to cover from here. And yes, there it is. Tiffanie on Facebook versus Tiffany's body cam. All right, so now we're on body cam number 4, where she looks so good in orange, because that's what she's going to be. Every time we see her, she's going to now be in orange. She's now in jail, and we start off with her in orange. All right, let's go. Hey, Lucky. Oh, that's fast.
There you go, my friend. That's how
Hey, Tracy.
well, you probably need to because you're a transport.
Yes, if you just hold, all right.
Can you hold these for him while he does?
Great. Hello.
Tiffany?
All right, y'all. So we have another Stefan Stearns who fell asleep. And let me give you a quick recap. If you're just coming in here and you're coming late, we're on body cam number 4, episode number 3. We did a deep dive into Tiffanie Lucas and the execution of her boys, Jaden and Maurice, 6 and 9. This is in Kentucky. Body cam number 1 was on 11/8. So November 8th, 2023. The first body cam we watched was 11:09 a.m. This is when Bullitt County, Kentucky officers first find Tiffany lying in her neighbor's driveway, already cuffed by a different jurisdiction. Then they come over, take the handcuffs on, put their handcuffs on, and they arrest her. They cut her jacket off, check the house, bring the boys out. Then body cam number 2 was on the same day, November 8th, 2023, 11:13 a.m. Tiffany claims she shot herself in the ear. She in fact didn't. They don't find her to have any injuries. She also pees herself while she's laying out there rolling around on the concrete. And then body cam 3, we just finished body cam 3 up. That's 12:08 p.m. November 8th, 2023, all the same day. She says people are not right. They're preying on children, and that's where she talks about the internet manipulating her, Wi-Fi manipulating her. We're now in the last final raw body cam number 4, same day, 3.5 hours later. She's in jail. She's been transported and changed, and now she's in Orange. All right, so this is the final one. It's got about 20 minutes left. Please do hang in here. If you leave, go ahead and hit the like button and don't forget to share. All right, so yes, this monster took her children's lives, and I believe she was abusing them before the situation happened.
Move your hand just a little bit.
Where am I?
Where am I?
Where are you?
Yeah.
You're at the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office. Go ahead and stand up for me.
Go ahead and do me a favor and just put your hands behind your back like you're praying.
She should have prayed before, huh?
Hands split together.
No.
All right, ready? Do that paperwork. Or does Mona have the paperwork? Or is she out here? Nope, I had you hold it. I ran up to my car.
Hold on.
Leg chains.
This is just hers.
All right, so I'm not going to stop the whole time because, we got about 15 minutes left. Veronica, we don't know why she shot them at all whatsoever. I'm thinking she did because she didn't want them. They were a burden. This is me speculating. We're going to hear sentencing on Friday. Maybe we'll hear something just for doing drugstore, another motive. Now, there's no motive in this case, and you're going to hear how she doesn't know what she's talking about. She plays dumb. She just didn't want to take care of those children. She'd been abusing them for years. CPS had been called in. It's just another mother, and I hate to say that took her children's lives senseless. There's no motive.
Yep.
Yeah, she does. She remembers doing it.
We'll go behind this truck. This one. Alright, go and take a seat up there. Got it. Gonna do me a favor and look out that window for me, okay? Thank you. All right. Yep.
Oh no.
Nah, 27 radio. I'm gonna have one female 1015 from the SOF en route to corrections. Copy beginning is gonna be 444.
Thank you, Synth. Thank you. I think so. Yeah, it was. It is, and right now they're transporting her, so we can kind of talk for a minute while they're doing that. We're not missing a whole bunch. You hear little bits and pieces here and there, but Shepherdsville is small. That's why they keep just saying Kentucky or a small town in Kentucky. They're not really saying Shepherdsville. So yeah, it is a small town. Small town, beautiful house, beautiful neighborhood. Of course, it was a rental. She wasn't paying it. They were gonna take it away from her. Yeah, we need some classic music going on. Now, Charlotte Bassett's a surprise. I haven't heard this case. Too many people would love to have children, life without parole. She can spend 60 years thinking about it. Hate this woman. So do I. I wish she would have got the death penalty, but it spares millions of dollars for prosecuting, and even harder, the families having to go through watching pictures of the autopsy, pictures of the scene of the crime, all kinds of things. I believe they have the death penalty in Kentucky. I looked it up, and there's a death penalty in Kentucky. Yes, ma'am, but she pled guilty to 2 counts of taking their lives. We'll call it. All right. Yes. Yes, it is. Now, while we're watching this, let me just tell you real quick about the sentencing. I really wanted to get this in because of the sentencing. No death penalty because she pled guilty to save her own life. But let me tell you what to expect. Judge Rodney Burris noted that when he sentences Tiffanie Lucas, she will face 20 to 50 years behind bars or life in prison on both counts of taking their lives, and it will be within his discretion to decide whether the punishments will run consecutive or concurrently. I really hope that they run consecutively, which means she'll face, let's say, 50 years times two and never get out. I do not think that she should have a concurrent sentence. You guys, please pray. The judge doesn't have the final say, but that's what the judge is recommending. I'm reading a document while I'm listening to this, so I've seen too many people get out and parole come up in 30 years. So right now they're transporting, not much is going on. So let me tell you a little bit further. Tiffany then said she understood and admitted that she was pleading guilty because she is guilty. Both parties agreed on the sentencing to occur 9 a.m. November 22nd. 9 a.m. is going to be 6 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. in Florida. So I just got to find that. We're going to hear, the families talking and her getting sentenced this Friday, 9 a.m. And yeah, that's it. She's facing up to 100 years, and I really truly hope that they go consecutive. I don't understand why she would ever be eligible for parole, but that does happen. I've been watching lots of cases like this where that happens, and after 20 years, 30 years, people forget about the case and they're up for parole and they get out. I don't understand why.
Nine 27 radio. On scene at the jail. Ending is going to be 446.
I hope so. Nope. No best. Nope.
Bullitt County, one female, no BA.
Just not in this case, Synth. That's off the table. They did make a deal for her to plead guilty, and the death penalty is not on the table in this case. So it can be in other cases, but we are not going to see the death penalty in this case. All right. So Smith wants out and she killed. Yeah, she did. Absolutely. Hopefully the boys get justice, and I really do hope she gets a freaking 100 years. You're welcome, Sharon Belko. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I don't feel well. My mouth being punched. That's what it feels like, but it's okay. I'm here with you all, and you guys show love constantly. Thank you.
Go and look that way for me. Thank you. You can get out. You can get out. Come on.
Get out, bitch.
Come on out of the car.
Come on.
Tiffany, right? Come on. Let's go. Tiffany, let's go. Come on. Tiffany. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to go stand here at the door.
Aww.
You're gonna sit down here.
It's okay. Pain is beauty, right? Beauty is pain. Pain, pain, pain. There she is in orange. That's how she's going to be forever. And I'll take some more Tylenol. Hashtag I took my meds, y'all. Hashtag I took my meds. She acts like she doesn't know what's going on. You're right, Lucky. And she can't take commands. She's going to take lots of commands. Looking good in orange, Tiff. There's still 198 people in chat. Hit the like button. I got my mouth. I got 2 crowns today. Unexpected crowns.
Hey there, sir. What can we do for you?
Well, there's that. And then this is for her property.
Okay. Where's you at? 831, 830.
These ones that I didn't have them braided on them.
Okay. Any medical issues I need to know about? Okay. Well, no. Do you have any heart problems?
Medical.
Just okay.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys.
So go to the VA room.
Busy day.
Last of the body cam, y'all.
With the situation, we're just gonna call medical up here.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Left that for you all the time.
That is one thing I have never had the patience to
Yeah,
try.
I can't.
I tried a couple times like that.
I struggled to make a decent paper airplane. So.
Look at her. She looks like she doesn't know what's going on. That nasty hair. Brush your hair. Brush your hair. Yeah, say a prayer for the boys.
You get oranges earlier.
What's that?
I don't know when y'all got oranges.
Oh yeah, I don't know when they're gonna.
Usually they bring a paper bag.
Yeah, the detectives had all that.
Still gotta do your thing though.
Okay.
Still gotta change your outfit. So.
Where's she come from?
In the detective's office.
Look, I want to slap her in that face of hers. What's up, chick? We're driving with you. You guys are funny. Thank you guys for being here with me for all of the body cam. You guys are champs. Yes, Crooked Chucky. I like Chucky being crooked. That's what those potatoes look like. Look, now she's crying, y'all. Yes, if you want to learn, come to Guilty of Crime. You'll learn lots on Guilty of Crime. You'll learn all about the cases, like full on learn about the cases. Real quick, don't forget we have a Patreon that you can sign up for and learn lots more. So we do deep diving into many of the cases, and I showed you my notes. My notes are outrageous on these cases. So what I'm doing is downloading the notes and uploading them to Patreon. I'm telling you, if you have Patreon, you'll love it. You don't get that kind of information anywhere else unless you do it yourself. So if you're a content creator, you could use that information to create content. If you're just wanting to learn, like we do on the channel during this chat, you'll learn. I mean, really, I see lots of good information. Yeah, overly drugged. I believe she's coming down from her high 110%. All right, let's look at that nasty devil that needs to brush her hair. Absolutely. It's a love-hate thing, Diane. I can't wait to see her on Friday. How about you? You're very welcome. I haven't seen coverage either. Oh, she remembers.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear there.
That's okay. Wait. So what's going on with you? What kind of medical history do you have? Are you under the influence of anything? Have you been? In the last 24 hours? What?
Yep. Meth, perhaps?
Do you take any medications at home?
Sometimes.
What do you take?
Just waiting for stuff Tylenol.
Tylenol.
I'll give you your name and I will hold my watch.
Okay. Hear that, ladies? All right, ma'am, if you'll stand up, get those handcuffs off you. You turn, we'll let you right, thank
Give
you.
you your name, I'll watch.
Thanks, sir. Got it expected, but
Sure, you walk home.
no, you know what the
Yeah,
type
you
of,
guys
you know what
go-
the, yeah, this type of case.
Yeah.
So. Ms. Lucas, have you ever been here before? Okay. I don't even know what I have open yet.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, man, we made it. We made it through all three. Let's do this then. We got a couple minutes. Let me put myself back up here. Let me show you real quick. Let's go one last recap through the case before Friday. So let me go back and show you this. I'm going to quickly go through this, and then I think it's worth it to go back and just run through this quickly. Hold on. I actually have it up here. Let me stop sharing this one, bring up one more. You guys are still here. There's 201 people in here, and I noticed lots of people came in here late. So let me run through the recap of what you missed. And you want to go back and watch it. Let's say a prayer for those little angels, Maurice and Jaden. All right. So this is what she looked like on Facebook, and this is what she looked like in real life on body cam. All right. So we watched all 4 parts. I just recapped of the body cam. There she is looking evil in the car. This is when she just got arrested for the first time. She shot her kids. We have a shooting with 2 injuries, 2 juveniles, and make sure you guys can see this. In fact, you can. Yes, I'm glad that I took Tylenol, Michelle, because my mouth felt like somebody punched me. And remember to hit the like button. I appreciate that so much, Lucky. Thank you. All right, let's go through here. never before seen body cam. We all saw here Tiffanie Lucas, who was 32, now 33, cries and curses at the cops on body cam 1 that we watched last year. Okay, so we got screen recorded Facebook down here, but it didn't come up. So I wasn't able to get this to play. If I can, let me see if I can. Nope, I just messed it up. Let me see. I wasn't able to get that to play. It just went right to the video. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to run through this real quick. All right, so there it is. We did the 4 body cams, and what you didn't or may not have seen, this is a recap of it on those beautiful angels, her getting out of the car, her in the orange, part 4. Tiffanie Lucas, there are her 2 sons, Maurice Baker Jr., 6, and Jaden Howard, 9, both not looking like their age. Fatally shot November 2023. She got those charges against her. Rest in peace, angels. Now she pled guilty to 2 counts of shooting deaths of her 2 young sons. Right? This is in Kentucky, and then there she is in the first one, smiling. She looks really evil in that, everybody. So this is what we're watching on the way out. In the first video, it's the agency handcuffing her face down. She told the cops that she shot them, and then told the cops to get away from her. His pregnant wife, actually the pregnant wife, if you watch body cam 1, she's crying and it sounds pretty terrifying, her cries. So there she is, face down. She had Peter pants on the ground. They switch out. Tiffanie tells the cops her name and cries mixed with laughter and confusion. She curses at an officer and lying and telling them she shot herself in the ear. She did not. They looked at her and then they cut her jacket off. We see parts of the interview here. She blames Facebook, like I told you, claiming something was in the house. She talks about technologies causing mind control, and she cries and says she doesn't feel right. She would never hurt the kids. So this is her. She's claiming that she was legally insane at the time, and we know that it was just her probably coming down from lots of drugs and hallucinating. We saw her being all over the place in body cam 1, body cam 2. There she is in the last one. I wish I could play this one. This is them reading her Miranda rights. We also see the same couch in her living room that she showed off on her son's the Easter before, showing the gifts. Those are the couches and the body cam that we see covered with things. And as cops talk about coming to the same rented house before, CPS called. Tiffanie acts confused. Perhaps she's always been confused about who to be, as witnessed by her culture kind of Facebook photo. So there she is. That's what I really wanted to show you. That is not her. Thank you guys for being here. This evil monster needs to be locked away for 50 years times 2 consecutively, not concurrently. And I think that's it. I think the last part 4, is going to be me covering sentencing, and hopefully there'll be some really good statements in there. Jay, that lady who might get out, she served 30 years. Yes, many people serve 30 years and then parole comes up, especially having sentences that are ran on top of each other and not one after the other, which is concurrent versus consecutive. And yeah, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you for the donations. And I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to have a big show. Come check that out, 4 p.m. And we're covering the Madeline Soto, Jennifer Soto. We're going to talk about with ex-FBI agent Jennifer Coffindoffer. So do come, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to go get my daughter. I love you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. I'm out of here.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty
guilty of crime? Are you guilty